To bring back our panel. Nick Pope works for the British government investigating UFOs, and Ben Hansen, also former FBI agent, now also investigates sightings. I want to start with you, Nick. I've got a lot of friends and family who have been following our coverage for the last couple months who just say, look, until I can see the evidence for myself, until I can see pictures, they don't believe just, hearing people's stories.
I get that. I mean, I feel the same. But I mean, still, even in these days of forensics and DNA evidence, eyewitness testimony still lies at the heart of the criminal justice system. So we can, we must listen to that. But yeah, Congress is working to try and validate this. I was intrigued in the hearing where David Grush was very specific. And when he was asked, who do we need to get in the room? Who do we need to ask? Whether they're in agencies, corporations. He said, I will give you a list of hostile and friendly witnesses.
That was a good question.
It was a great question. Yeah. And he said he will do it after the hearing. I would love to see that list because that will tell us where to look for these programs.
Yep, and I've asked myself over and over again, I mean, why would these guys lie? I mean, with their history, top military officials, it just doesn't make sense that they would just suddenly make all this up. I want to play a soundbite from the David Grush interview he did with us initially, something that was kind of alarming when he talks about the potential that these UAPs could actually be aggressive. We'll listen to it and then we'll talk about it.
I've been told that there have been attempts to bring down craft, that we've acted offensively against non-human craft.
There have been instances, and there are certain techniques.
Have human beings been hurt or killed by a non-human intelligence?
While I can't get into the specifics because that would reveal certain U.S. classified operations, I was briefed by a few individuals on the program that there were malevolent events like that.
I mean, Ben, that's scary to hear. I mean,
yeah,
it's scary. You almost don't want it to be true. I mean, is this something we've known? I mean, you've been studying this for a long time, long before me. Is this something that we've known about?
Well, the problem is a lot of this is rumored that we can't document. And so if David Grush has that information, it's going to be spectacular. But we can go back as far as what we call the red alert in D.C. in '52, right? 2 weekends over July, these objects would show up and then scatter when they'd scramble jets. I have information I can't verify yet, but that we actually lost a jet that night. Now, even if they're not shooting them down, this is very dangerous. It's no game when you scramble jets, in a sortie to go after something because you're flying extreme speeds. That alone is dangerous, right? Now we're talking about that they might have actually been shot down. Burchett said he saw something that made him feel as if they had the weaponry to turn us into, I think he said, briquettes, or charcoal.
Yeah.
Right? So that automatically should make this a very serious issue. We need to know what the intentions of whoever they are.
What's this nuclear incident, Nick, that we hear people talking about? Was there an incident in a nuclear plant? The congressman kind of alluded to it.
It's long been claimed that there's a connection between UFOs and nuclear weapons, and there have been a series of incidents where there have been sightings over nuclear power plants, missile silos and such like. And one of them in Malmstrom Air Force Base in 1967, a number of the missiles, when there was a UFO over the facility, apparently went offline. Well, whatever we think caused that, there will be a paper trail. And that's why it's so important. I mean, we heard questions about the Department of Energy. That's why it's important they're looped into this. It's also important that we get this information declassified. And of course, that's one of the things going forward that's going to be in Chuck Schumer's amendment to the new defense bill.
That's what I thought. I just brought this letter out again from George Knapp, which he put into the congressional record. He talks about this advanced weapons system application program. It's this secret program that apparently Harry Reid knew about. And he's saying, go back and get all those documents now, that these Congress people need to go back and get the documents. I'm curious, Ben, you've been at a pilot's conference, essentially, in Wisconsin for the last several days, talking to pilots. We had you on Banfield a couple of nights. What have you learned from me? Are more pilots coming forward with stories?
Absolutely. So I got there Wednesday, so right after the hearings happened in the morning. And we had a booth, and we had a line of people, several people deep. Every 5 minutes, I was getting reports from people, and some of them really extraordinary. I'm talking about stuff that I'm going to be talking to Ryan Graves this week. I'm going to be talking, hopefully, to Burchett. people that might become whistleblowers, because some of these happened while they're on Navy ships. Some of these things happened with commercial pilots. Really extraordinary. I just need some time to vet the information, because it's like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.